how to prepare to talk about your message in the public, and how. But today we're going to specifically talk about the question of gaining supporters. I just want to tell you about a conversation that I just had, just absolutely amazing. I got an email probably about a week or so ago from a young lady who I had mentored back when she was a high school student. Today she's a master's grad, and she is working as a crisis intervention specialist across the state. And apparently I've had some impact on this young lady. Like I told you, I've been in business nonprofit for 20 years, and she was one of my first speakers as a student in my organization, because I was so fond of her ability in the community, her leadership as a student, and I decided she was going to be my very first speaker for my very first event in my community, because I wanted the young people to know that they too had a voice. So the young lady, I get a call, email saying, I want you to be a part of this council. I thought about you. I was in a meeting and I thought about you, and I recommended your name as my mentor and someone that I thought would be perfect for this role in our state. Right? So I was wowed. I was absolutely wowed at the opportunity. And so I talked with the young lady today, and that she recommended me to. And you guys, I was recommended for the state council for women, professional women in business, not just in business, but to represent women of all backgrounds, women of all economic backgrounds, to be a voice for women, to empower, to address the needs of women, what we want in our state. And so it was so interesting just to get that message. And the thing about it is, as I think about media and as I think about what's required to build your support base, it's just simple things like that. It's simple things like being in your community and making a difference, and one day being, recommended for things like this. Having special interests. What are your special interests that you are interested in? Get involved in your community. Get to know. Serve on some of the committees. Serve on some of you. Start locally. There are a lot of things going on in your community that link right back to you. These things link. Hey Sadi, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. There are things that link right back to you, and the things that you are doing, and it helps you to bridge the gap between what you're doing and bringing other people aboard. Hey Serve Glad, thank you for joining. We're talking about developing your supporters at the grassroots level. So, good morning from DC. Thank you so much for joining. It's always delightful to have a newcomer. For those of you who are new to my scope, my name is Dr. Eve Angel Savage. I'm your social enterprise strategist, and I simply affirm human social value through legacy building. I could say a whole lot, but I won't. That's enough. And the way we do that is by building legacy with what we have in our hands, what we have in our families, to develop and own our own stage as families. So that's what I do. That's what I teach my family. That's what we're building in our family, and that's what I'm teaching other people to do. So how do you get those supporters? I've been a long time guru in my community here in North Carolina, and been serving my community very well. So one of the things you want to do is serve. Always be serving in your community and seeing how you can then up level. Okay. You may not have to do anything to up level yourself. You may not have to do anything at all except serve. What you need to remember is that people are always watching. Oh, you're from North Carolina. Oh, really? Okay. Well, thank you for coming into my scope. Hey, Get Fit virtually. We're talking about building support from the grassroots level. An amazing thing just happened, and why it's important to just serve. Serve because people are always watching. Your students are watching. The people whose lives you impact, they're watching. The parents, they're watching. There are so many people that you are connected to that are always watching what you do. And here's the thing about the young people. The young people, hey from Winston-Salem. Oh, Winston-Salem, okay. Are you from Winston-Salem, North Carolina? Thank you for that clarity. Thank you so much. There are always people watching what you're doing, students watching what you're doing, parents watching what, organizational leaders watching what you're doing, political people watching what you're doing. And so always position yourself to serve. Always. You know, I've served for years in my community. And so I was absolutely elated to discover that one of my students from back in 2002, y'all, it's 2016. My student, when I first started my organization back in 2001, just recommended me for the North Carolina Council of Women Roundtable, Women Roundtables. And how awesome is that, right? How awesome is that to be recommended for your state's roundtable to develop the agenda for the people and the women in your state, right? Absolutely, I'm absolutely floored when I got that email, and I just got off the phone with the young lady who they want me to sit on this council, the state council. And so these ladies are developing databases, they're developing directories, they're developing, you know, the first thing she asked was, what do you do? I mean, like, she gave me the synopsis, the narrative, but then she said, so as I began to tell her about my interest and why I thought that this role would be important for me, and it is, or important to me and important to those who are attached to me, she said, well, what is it that you do? And I was able to share my entrepreneur experience, the fact that I just jumped off my job. And she said, well, send me information, because that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to build directories where we support one another. How cool is that, right? So I never had a state appointment before. I've always been involved, like I'm saying this, I've always been involved at the grassroots level, but I never had a state appointment. So I've been working at the grassroots and at the global level, but never at the state. So here we go, representing my state at the Women's Roundtable. That's an amazing accomplishment, and I thank God for that. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly that I now get to help to formulate and solidify, thank you so much, the importance of listening to the black woman, of listening to their needs and listening to what they want and creating an agenda that's designed for us, right? So if you are in North Carolina, here's what I want you to do. I want you to share my handle, share my scope with everyone you know in North Carolina, because we're going to begin to talk about this, because I have to serve. I have to serve in the area, and so we'll have monthly meetings where we'll go to state conferences and national conferences, and now I have to serve. So again, on a state level. So what that means to me is that I now have to understand what the constituency wants. What do other women want to see? What are your needs? What are the top 3 things that are most important to you that I should share at the round table? That I should share at the seat, at the table? What do you want to know most about? And so I'm going to be talking about that, but I thought that this was a great opportunity to share with you all about how to prepare for an interview question, because that's what this scope is really all about. I just happened to use that example because it was a great example. I just got off the phone I just got off the phone with this young lady, and so it was a great example to use in terms of, answering that question. How do you gain supporters? Because, I have this book, Clients Everywhere. The question that I was asked was, how do you gain supporters? Because if you don't have clients, then you're just entertaining a hobby. That was the quote. That was something that was quoted. She heard me say that somewhere on a video or something, and or in my bio. And so the interviewer asked me that question. So I got to thinking about that, and I got to, answered it, just fine. I answered it from the perspective of social branding. Hey Kimba, thank you for joining. This is exciting. We're talking about women's issues, women's roundtable, how to get supporters, what's important for us to do to get those supporters. So this scope is actually taking a threefold. It's layered in threes. How to answer an interview question, right? How to answer the interview question, how do you gain supporters? People are always going to ask you that because you have to have supporters. Otherwise, thank you for joining, y'all. Thank you. This is your first time to my scope. My name is Dr. Savage. I love hearts, and I got a million heart goals. So if you want to heart me, I'll do the same for you. I always heart people. So, but anyway, the scope is threefold. How to answer that interview question. Good morning to you. How do you answer an interview question and develop yourself when you're being interviewed, right? So the question was, how do you gain supporters? You may be asked that question because social branding is so important, right? I answered the question from the perspective of social branding as it related to my book at the time. But I also wanted to demonstrate how you can do that at the grassroots level, okay? The name of my book, by the way, is Clients Everywhere. Will Your Name Come to Mind? It is a great book that covers the behaviors and the principles of social branding, whether you're a professional, whether you have a child, whether you have a student, whether you're a student getting ready to graduate, whether you're a professional about to graduate, whether you're a service professional, or whether you're an entrepreneur. And so that book can be found at bit.ly, all lowercase, Clients Everywhere. bit.ly/Clients Everywhere. It is an ebook at $6.97. That's not why I'm here today, but since I'm here, I'm going to share it with you. So I used the example of my having gotten off this call and being appointed to this council, North Carolina Council for Women Roundtable, and how that builds supporters. How working in your community in selecting specific interests of your own and doing a good job. Do a good job. Always do a good job, because there are always people watching. My student from 2001 just recommended me for the state council. A student, you guys. This was my student in 2001 that recommended me for the state council. Okay? So you don't ever know where your recommendations are going to come from. But the most important thing is that you serve, and you serve well. And now, my state base is about to broaden. When God does something, He really does it, and He does it well. He really does. He does it, and He does it well. He does it big. We don't serve a small God. We don't serve a small God, and you just have to be ready. And this is what I tell people all the time. Are you in a position? Are you ready? It took me quite a few years to position myself to where I am today, to be able to come off of my job. I'm 4 weeks. This is my 4th week off of my job. And it took me quite a few years to maintaining a consistent momentum of preparing myself to come off of my job. And a lot of that was knowing how to brand myself, sending the right message, you know, understanding the need to promote other people, understanding social systems, including social media systems, and how to beat the algorithms, how to consistently send the right messages at the right time to the. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all so much. You just don't know. And I'm probably going to do for a call for all North Carolina women soon, so that we can get on a call or something, just so I'll know what it is that you want, because this is a great appointment, and I don't want to take it lightly. I don't want to take it lightly that there is a need, and that I have a responsibility. Hey, Jennifer, Life Changer, thank you for joining. I don't take it lightly that, your agenda may not be what. Thank you so much. I know, right? So, I'm going to be putting out a call for women in North Carolina soon, and I want to know what it is your needs are. I want to have it in writing, because this is a state appointment, and I believe that I need to get your ideas. I need to be able to take those ideas to this call next week. I also need to have things in writing so that I can send forth your ideas and what it is you want, so that they know that I'm working for the people. Because when you are appointed to represent your state at any level, you have to reach back and find out what they want. It's not your agenda. It's not your agenda. It's the agenda of your constituency. It makes what they matter. And that's why this fits so well for me. That's why this all fits so well for me, because I've been doing a You Matter series right here in my local community on economic empowerment. Get ready and be prepared, right? And the way I did that was to socially brand myself in a way that people knew the authenticity of my message, that they knew that I had a strong history of serving the people in a dynamic way, that I had a strong interest in family, that my education and credentials match my thinking. It's just, we really have to have a conscious effort in where we're going in our future. And so I believe that this is not by accident. I really do. And when I had my state interview, not my state interview, Lord have mercy, I'm going to have a state interview. Speak life, right? So that's how you gain supporters. That's what this message was all about, gaining supporters. And how do you do that? And so what I'm going to do now as a result of this appointment is I'm going to send out a call for North Carolinian women. I'm going to send out a call for the women in my region. And so what does that do? That expands your horizon. It broadens your territory. It allows you to commune with women to help take their messages to the state. Find out what their needs are. Find out what it is they're doing. And then at the same time, you get to grow and empower other people, right? Because I have a skill set. I have, obviously, that they thought enough of me to bring me to the table, right? So by bringing me to the table, I now represent the state, which also is huge. How many women in the state? I don't know, but I'm willing to serve them. I'm willing to provide service to them to meet their needs. And the thing about this council is, what is so good about it is that it touches the needs of every woman. It's not about a woman's education. It's not about a woman's background or status. It's about the woman. It's about what her needs are. What does she need? As black women, what do we need? What do we need? What message do we want to resound at the state level when they're making decisions about us, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that's the message going forth. That's how you gain supporters. Connect with the people who are connecting with the people. You feel me? Connect with the people who are connecting with the people. Right. So, so this doesn't have to be a state thing. This can be a global thing. Like, so what are the women's needs? I can tell. I don't have to minimize what the women the women in my local community needs. Well, I can represent all women for that matter. I don't believe in minimizing my ability to represent. I don't minimize my ability because, like I said, hey Carvette, thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys. We're talking about empowering women. How do you gain supporters? This was the question that I was asked, in my interview. And I've just been appointed to a new state position. Wow, you guys. Wow. So this is no small feat for me. This is major. So that means that your voice matters. Your voice matters. Your voice is the one that I need to hear. But if you don't tell me what your needs are, I can't take it to the table. That's true, but in my marriage, I depend on my husband to take care of me. I truly do. No matter how much money I have. No matter how much money I have, that's his job. He wants that job. And believe it or not, a lot of men do want that job. We just don't give it to them. We just don't allow them to do it. And that's where we have these controversies, right? That's right. Women empower other women. We are all sisters, and we need to do that, right? Yes, that's his job, right? I feel you, sis. I feel you on that. So, what I need to know is I need to stay connected with the women. I need women and men, but this new appointment's got me thinking different. This new appointment has got me thinking some kind of different right now. Because remember, the question is, absolutely, and that's important, and that's why my husband, he cultivated me. Everything I am is because of God and because of my husband. Because I was a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to be transparent with you. I was a force to be reckoned with because of my independent thinking. It caused problems, thinking that it was all about me and not about the family. Right? We need to be what as women? Independent? Yes, we do need to be independent, but at the same time, in a marriage, there's a unity that must exist. Hey, at Love Cash, thank you for joining. We're talking about gaining. Yeah, there's a unity that must exist within that family. So that's my opinion, but I respect what you're saying because you're the constituency. So my thinking cannot overpower what you're thinking. That is very, very important when you're appointed to a state. That I can't take my opinions to the table. I have to take your opinions to the table. So be thinking about what's important to you. I want to know the top 3 things that are important to you. And as we develop the agenda for the next couple of weeks, what kind of doctor? I am a PhD in human services, a doctor of philosophy in human services with a concentration in social and community services. So I am right in my element. You hear me? I am right in my element, and God has paved this way for me all the way. He knew it from my very birth in my mother's womb that this one day would happen. So what I have to do now at this state round table is I have to share your agenda. So who you are is important to me. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to develop a page, a squeeze page that's just for the women. This squeeze page is just for the women. Okay? Post hole digger. No, maybe to somebody. But it stands for Doctor of Philosophy in my world. Still believing in God has. In God, yes. Oh, you want me to get off? You want to to get off my scope when you start talking about messing with God. Hey, Dimples, thank you for joining. Then nobody better not get on my scope talking about denouncing God now. Yes, understanding people in general. So what I'm going to do is, and that's important too. I'm not sure if you're a male or not, but I'm talking about, you. That's right, you don't have no picture. Thank you so much. We're talking about women today. We're talking about empowering women. You know, the support base, the support, how to gain supporters. And if those of you who are joining me late, the conversation has been spiraling a little bit, so you may have to catch the replay to really figure out why we ended up in this conversation. But we're talking about gaining supporters and how do you do that. And because I have this new state appointment, by connecting and giving me, sharing with me your ideas. Hey, Khalifa, thank you for joining. Sharing with me the ideas that you have allows me to connect you with the other women. Allows me to connect you with a group of supporters. The first thing, like I said, she asked me was, what do you do? Okay? Absolutely. And I'm putting it back in everything. I'm putting it back in everything I do. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to work for anybody. They pigeonhole us. But I'm not forcing anything on anybody. But I'm going to serve him. I'm not going to pigeonhole nobody else. And you give me a moment, I'm going to share them with you. Yes, please follow me. And let's connect, because I'm about to develop this squeeze page because I have to address the needs of black women. So I need to connect with the black women in order to do that. So probably have some local events, but I'm gonna have some global events. I think global events are important too. You know, you can use whatever social media you have to your advantage. Yes. They need to know more of the resources out here to develop them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in this scope, and everything that you guys say to me, I'm going to write those things down. So take a minute and tell me, give me some of the things that you think that I should be considering. I want to know what you think I should be considering. Ask the questions that you have. I know there are quite a few of you on the line right now. Share the scope with somebody, please, so that we can get more women on the scope right now to just get this party started. I believe I don't sit still, and I don't sit down on the opportunity to change the lives of people. So if you want to share the scope with somebody, and I got a 1,000,000 heart goal, by the way. So if you're not writing, then you can tag. So what is it that I do? How do you get supporters? I do a lot, but most of all, I build legacy in families. And I just actually sent up a request to Kickstarter for some crowdfunding to get some financial support for a workshop for parents with talented children. And all children have a talent, but we need to identify. Some people identify those things very early on, like I did with my daughter, and I do now with my sons, and I have done with all of my children since their very existence. And I know that I want to make this workshop available to all people. So I've asked somebody else for money. I've asked for other people's money to support it, because I don't want to make it impossible for individuals to attend. So if you are a parent and you have a child with a talent, please share the scope, because there's so much I'm getting ready to share with you guys, an opportunity to get in on this. But I need to share it with other people so that I can have a substantial some output. I need you to connect with me. I need you to write maybe a blurb on why. Hey D Carter, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'm about to share an opportunity for you to gain support. This is how you gain support. So, my dog Oreo. You have a dog named Oreo? Oh, bless his heart. He must be black with white speckles. So, I don't know. Who's here? Tell me your names. I like to connect with people. I see a few people in the room, but I don't know who's here. Is my Get Fit Virtually person still here? Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna not confuse this scope with so much stuff. I'm gonna go and come back so that I can focus. My scopes are more focused on what it is that I want to do at that time. So you guys make sure you follow me, because I'm going to come back periodically during the day, and I'm going to announce an opportunity for sponsorship. But you got to follow me so you'll know. I'm going to announce an opportunity for you to get sponsorship as I recruit. I just gave away one sponsorship last night. And so I am going to recruit. I'm going to give away an opportunity for individuals to get sponsorship for this workshop that's going to be held on the 25th of September. So if you follow me, then you will know when I'm on and you won't miss it. But I'm going to come back at around 12:30. I'm going to come back around 12:30. Hey, Circle, I can't say it. Circle One? I guess that's what it is. So, set your alarm. I'm coming back at 12:30 and give you an opportunity to gain sponsorship. Okay? I'm coming back at 12:30 to give you an opportunity to gain sponsorship for the workshop that I'm having on the 25th. So you have to follow me. Good morning. Turn on your notifications so you can be in on it. Okay? And we're going to go from there. So for now, I'm going to hop off and go grab something to eat. Check a few things, check some email, and then I'm going to come back at 12:30. This is Dr. Eve Angel Savage over at Audacity Group Social Enterprise, and simply put, I affirm human social value through legacy building of the family through social enterprise. Thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate you guys. For all people. Thank you. Have a good day. We'll see you at 12:30. There you go.